Hello, and welcome to what might be the most controversial opinion I've ever put forward on YouTube. Today I'm going to argue that we need worse television. Yes, you heard that correctly. Worse, lower quality, cheaper, more wobbly sets, dodgier CGI, and perhaps even a foam rock or two. Now, before you click away faster than Netflix cancels a promising series, and we'll get to that, don't worry, hear me out. Because I'm not actually asking for bad television. I'm asking for something we've lost in the streaming wars. Time. Time to tell stories. Time to develop characters. Time to take risks that don't always work out. Time, essentially, for writers to do what they do best. Write. Why do I want cardboard sets and rubber monsters?
Keep staggering, look horrified, more terror, and cut! Great!
Well, that's because that's what you get when you make 24 episode seasons instead of 8 episodes. And you know what came with those wobbly sets? Some of the best storytelling television has ever produced.
Surprise!
Celebrate the final voyages of the Starship Enterprise in style.
So let's go on a journey from the bridge of the Enterprise to the ruins of streaming television. Let's engage.
Wouldn't miss this for the world.
Let's begin by talking about my favourite TV series ever produced, Star Trek The Next Generation. 7 seasons, 178 episodes. It ran from 1987 to 1994, and yes, some of it looks, well, like it was produced in 1987. Special effects haven't necessarily aged that well, though remastering and new effects have been applied, so it doesn't look that bad. There are episodes where you can practically see the zipper on the alien costume, and that was okay. But here's the thing, it's brilliant. And it's not brilliant in spite of having 24 episodes per season, it's brilliant because of it. Because when you have 24 episodes, you have room to experiment. You can have your big, important, advancing the plot episodes. You can also have Darmok, where Picard learns to communicate through metaphor with an alien who speaks entirely in references. You can have The Inner Light, where Picard lives an entire lifetime in 25 minutes. And you can have Data's Day, which is literally just a day spent with Data. Not every episode has to be a winner when you have that many to deal with. And I'm looking at you, Sub Rosa. The one where Data's ghost boyfriend, Beverly Crusher's ghost boyfriend turned up. See, I've even got the bad episodes memorised. That's engagement. I actually cared. And I cared for more than the 5 minutes it takes to dump out a series onto Netflix. Now compare this to Star Trek Strange New Worlds. It is a gorgeous show, absolutely stunning production values. The Enterprise has never looked better. Each episode is practically cinema quality, and it's really good television. But 10 episodes in Season 1, 10 episodes in Season 2, and I think we're getting 8 in Season 3. Oh wait, that's dropped, and yes, we did. Why is it that I'm having to have less Star Trek just so they can have a higher budget so we can see a more glorious Enterprise? In the time of The Next Generation, 24 stories, Strange New Worlds tell 10. That's a 66% reduction in storytelling. Yes, each episode looks fantastic. Yes, they're more tightly plotted, but we've lost something critical. We've lost the space to explore. And I don't mean space like the Final Frontier, although we're exploring less of that as well. I mean narrative space. Room for character development, room for experimentation, room for an episode to fail without sinking the entire season. And yes, I'm looking at you, holodeck episode. And remember, Star Trek The Next Generation had many holodeck episodes, but it only took one to sink the entire of Season 3 Strange New Worlds, and that was because it didn't have the spare room for a holodeck episode. There's another classic sci-fi series I'd like to talk about. Babylon 5. If you haven't watched it, you should, though, fair warning, Season 1 is a bit of a slow burn. It's like a dinner party where everyone's being polite and nobody wants to say what they're really thinking. You know, it's going somewhere, you're just not entirely sure why, and you're pondering whether or not you should have brought the wine. But stick with it, because it becomes absolutely worth it. Babylon 5 did something revolutionary with its 22 episodes per season over 5 seasons. Well, 4.5 really. Season 5 is a bit like when you say goodbye to someone, they started walking away, but then you remembered one more thing you had to say, so you awkwardly shuffle back. It's good telly, it just kind of trickled at the end. But Babylon 5 understood the difference between episodic storytelling and serialized storytelling, and that you could in fact do both. You could have your standalone episode where a dock worker falls in love, or where dealing with some kind of addiction or a mystery about a missing person could also occur. This resulted in character development, world building, and even a sense of community. But running underneath all of this was this massive 5-year arc about the rise of an ancient evil, political machinations, and the consequences of choices made in Season 1 finally coming due in Season 4. With Babylon 5, when a character made a decision, you saw the consequences, not in the next episode, or perhaps even 10 episodes later, but a whole season later. Characters would reference events from earlier seasons. You got a sense that these people existed when the camera wasn't on them. This only works with volume, with time, with more episodes. You can't build that kind of depth in 8 episodes. Well, you can try, but it's a bit like trying to build a house with half the bricks. Sure, it's a house, but where's the bathroom? Why is there no roof? Why can I see my neighbour from the kitchen? And long-term consequences means good long-term storytelling. And that brings us to Netflix. In the beginning, Netflix was absolutely brilliant. It was revolutionary even. They promised us a future without adverts. Do you remember that? A streaming paradise where we could watch all that we wanted when we wanted without some bloke trying to sell us car insurance in the middle of the programme. And they really did deliver. They brought all these long-running shows. Your Treks, your Stargates, your X-Files, shows with 200 plus episodes that you could binge on for months, combined with flashy new content like House of Cards, Orange is the New Black. They were unstoppable. They disrupted the fat cat cable companies. They were David to big cable's Goliath, and we loved them for it. I loved them for it. I cancelled my Sky TV subscription faster than you could say package deal. But here's what happened. They became Goliath. Netflix pioneered this ADHD approach to television. 8 to 10 episodes per season. Drop the entire season at once for binging. Then cancel it 2 seasons later because the completion rate wasn't high enough, whatever that means. I'm convinced they have a literal dartboard at headquarters.
Cancelled. Send out the press release.
Shall we renew this show? Thwack. Nope, that one's cancelled. The good news is that you get high quality, tightly plotted, beautifully shot short seasons. The bad news is that half of them end on cliffhangers that will never get resolved because the show got cancelled. I'm still angry about the OA and the Santa Clara Diet and of course Sense8. Those at least got a wrap-up film. And the Dark Crystal series, they cancelled a Muppet show. How cold-hearted do you have to be to cancel the Muppets? Sorry, I'm still processing my grief. Here's the problem. Those old shows that Netflix bought, well, they're getting old. And there's nothing to replace them.
In the beginning, we bought in long-running TV series, but we only made short runs ourselves. But now we've run out.
You can only watch The Office so many times before you start thinking Jim might actually be a bit of a bully and you're actually on Dwight's side. Which is correct, by the way. Jim is a bully. That's not even a hot take, it's just facts. And that leads us to the fact that the streaming wars really became cable 2.0. So now we have 7, 8 or 9 different streaming services, all doing exactly the same thing that Netflix pioneered. Short season, high production values, endless cancellations. Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Apple TV Plus. Honestly, I'm waiting for my local Chippy to launch Chips TV Plus.
Get ready for the main event. It's Chips Plus, the UK's first streaming service dedicated to 24/7 chip frying.
Exclusively streaming shows about potatoes. 8 episodes per season, gorgeous cinematography of the like, and really nice King Edwards being fried, cancelled after a season 2 on a cliffhanger where we never find out if the potato becomes mashed or chips. But I'd still watch it, to be fair. But here's the real kicker. They've all started bringing adverts back. They're rising prices every year, sometimes twice a year, and they're all competing with each other exactly the same way cable companies did, fragmenting content across platforms, so you need to subscribe to 5 different services just to watch the shows you like. We've come full circle. We've reinvented cable, but somehow worse. Because at least with cable, you got 22 episodes of your favourite shows. And without those long-running shows, without the 22 or 24 episode seasons, there's nothing to keep audiences engaged in the new series. There's no comfort show that you can return to that has depth. There's no community building around a show that lasts 3 months and then disappears forever. The industry is eating itself. It's like a snake eating its own tail, except this snake is also trying to sell you a subscription to Premium Snake Plus with 4K tail eating for just $12.99 per month. So here's my argument. I want worse television, cheaper sets, dodgier effects, rubber monsters, and better writing. But I want it because it comes with those compromises. I want 20, 22 or 24 episodes per season. I want writers to have room to write. I want episodes that fail. I want experimental episodes that succeed. I want to spend time with characters doing normal things so I understand them when big moments happen. I want bottle episodes and clip episodes. I want budget-saving episodes where everyone's trapped in a room talking. You know these episodes. They're character development, they're world building, they're the narrative breathing room that makes big episodes mean something. I want long-running episodes and shows that build communities of fans. I want to give us something return to. Let writers take risks. If one episode doesn't land, then there are 23 more in that season that may. The streaming model has given us beautiful, expensive, short-lived groups of movie watching. It's given us television that looks better than ever, but we have to say we have less than ever. I want the opposite. I want television that looks good enough but has the time to be great and the time to grow to be great. So, television executives, if you're watching, and I know you're not, you're too busy counting your money and trying to remember which show you cancelled this morning, here's my pitch. Make cheaper shows, make longer seasons, give writers time, give us worse television that's actually better. Anyway, thanks for watching and listening to me rant. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree, or if you just want to yell at me about how wrong I am about Jim from The Office, which I'm not. He's a bully. You can fight me on it. Like and subscribe, or don't. I'm not the subscription police, and I'm not going to force you to subscribe to me for $12.99 a month. Having said that, if you'd like to join my Patreon and give me a monthly subscription, I will definitely not deliver any good TV, but I might deliver the odd interesting YouTube video. Thanks for watching.